Spoilers, offensive content, and just friends to come. This is the Carlos and Dave Anime Rave with our Just for Friends extravaganza. And this is the second episode of Izetta, The Last Witch. You're Carlos. I'm Dave. You're getting really tired of hearing just friends.
Well, I mean, I irritate you with various things, and I kind of get that this is a penance for sins I have committed, but I still want to fucking giant swing you into a plane engine.
Well, thankfully you won't blow the tail off of my plane, and then...
Why do I keep saying this is the best anime review show on the internet again?
And then come and save me by riding a gun to catch me.
I probably would come save you by riding. God damn it.
Yes, but you'd probably try and shoot me on the way.
Oh yeah, for sure. And then it's revealed it was a fake you, and the enemy's like, how did you know it was a fake? I'm like, what are you talking about?
Pretty much. So let's watch Izetta and the main character, who I don't remember what her name was.
Her name is Fine. She even looks like Fine. But she has not spoken a word of Fine English yet, thankfully.
Let's see how they fight back against the Germanian Empire.
Yes, I want to see... I hope that while riding on that gun, we see Izetta do some dogfighting against jets like the preview last time kind of hinted at. Jesus, this intro, man! Fucking rocket and guns and an unfortunate little bit of Izetta fan service, but at the same time, we're getting a whole different kind of fan service in the gun witch.
She's riding that howitzer like a freaking speeder bike from Star Wars.
Yeah, and she's shooting things with it and shit.
And that's a howitzer.
That intro makes it very clear that Izetta seems to be the main character. If so, then the first episode is kind of a Coyote Ragtime show situation where the protagonist is in very little of episode 1, but then takes over from there.
True.
And I hope Fine still plays a sizable chunk, or is the protagonist, or a protagonist, because freaking I love Fine, so.
Hey, she's what made the first episode strong. Control, we just passed a flying gun ridden by two girls. Please advise on our course of action from here.
See, this is the thing. When Madlax fires a pissy little handgun and takes out aircraft, I'm like, fuck that. But when a badass witch uses blood magic to cause ice spikes to impale a plane, perfect.
I'm loving the actual architecture they're showing of the buildings. Also, their bombing protection they were using earlier above the Capitol. That's actually brilliant. The blimps? Finally, the blimps actually have a viable reason to exist.
Other than being death traps.
Death traps.
I do, yeah, the architecture of the show's great. The show's doing a good job of world building without exposition. It's really nice.
Yes. And I'm even loving how they're showing the soldiers and everything. It's done really well.
Mm-hmm. Alright, that was episode 2 of Izetta the Last Witch. In it, we got some witch dogfighting, some witch shenanigans. We got to see the intro of the show, which involved some badass witch shenanigans, and we got to see a little bit more of the love that Fine and Izetta clearly have for one another. We got to see some great world building, more of the Elstadt soldiers. It's a difficult name to pronounce. And I guess next time we're going to see some rumbling with a sword in the heavens or some shit. God damn, this is just a quality show all around, isn't it?
I think she's going back for the gun.
Well, it's very iconic in the intro and all the silhouette and all that. I imagine rifles are going to be Izetta's thing. It'll be like in Reboot with Andrea and bikes. It'll be Fine going to Izetta occasionally being like, what is it with you and guns? For a magic user, you sure love your fucking
artillery.
firearms. It's not really artillery. But...
No, a howitzer cannon is an anti-tank artillery weapon.
Okay. Fair enough.
Let's not hide the fact that she's riding a anti-tank cannon.
Like a witch's broom. It's fantastic.
So yeah, I'm loving what they're doing with the show.
I like that we're being introduced to new characters in a very like gradual way, and they're not just doing it for kicks. They're establishing each one, and again, we're getting a lot of tone and voice from each character without necessarily getting too expository, which is awesome. The show is just really well made, and that's a very generic bit of praise for me to say. I could probably write an essay on why this show is so good so far in its first two episodes, but I think it's kind of obvious, you know, like quality shows and quality is here, and this is setting up for a fascinating tale of loyalty to country and loyalty to friends and magic versus science and alternate history. It's just really, really promising and really, really rife for fuck-uppery. So I'm a little worried on that front.
Well, let's face it. All 4 of our Just for Friends extravaganza today are rife for fuck-uppery.
I think of the 4, Izetta is the one that's the most likely if there is going to be a fuck-up. Because there are so many good things about this show that just could go downhill because of some brain-dead executive or storyteller decision. You could immediately go away from the Izetta-Fine relationship, which should be at the forefront. And now we're entering territory where I'm like, no, this is actually... The imagery here and what they feel for each other is real. And if they shy away from that, that's going to be a blunder. If they shy away from the element of, like, Izetta's loyalty to Fine, not necessarily to her country, but to her. If they shy away from that and make Izetta like a paragon of this country, that's they could fuck that up real easy too. Well, there are just a lot of ways this show could take missteps.
But right there, you've already misstepped yourself. It's not Fine's. It's not Izetta's, rather, country.
That's exactly what I said. Like, this is a dynamic here. Izetta probably has no loyalty to Fine's country, but she does have it to Fine, which is why she wants to help.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a good dynamic. The witch who wants to help the princess because she genuinely loves the princess, and they're genuinely friends, and perhaps more, and they should be more. But Fine obviously cares a great deal about her duty and her people, to the point that she was willing to go marry some guy she didn't love to protect her people.
Mm-hmm.
So this is very clearly what she believes in. She's the ideal noble and not what the nobles usually are in practice, right?
Yeah, and they haven't just told us that, they've shown us that.
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, there's a lot of conflicting dynamic elements to the show. It's very deep. And I think that's part of the reason why it's so good. Because you can see where they're going. I'm just saying that that's an easy thing to blunder.
Sure.
There's this really good movie in theaters a few years back called Hannah. And for the first half of the movie, I swear I thought I was watching the best movie I ever saw. There are so many layers to it and so much good. And there was even like a lesbian subplot to it as well that was handled very, very well. And then in the last half, it's like the writers collapsed under the weight of their own story.
Okay.
And the seemingly transitionary scene ended up being the last scene of the movie. And, like, I'm getting a few vibes of Hannah from the show, even though the genres are very different. But, so far, they haven't taken away, like, my trust hasn't been shattered. There's a couple of fan servicey things that are minor, but there, and they really shouldn't be, but they're minor, and they're hardly present, so whatever. Otherwise, I really like this show.
Yeah, it's doing a very good job. Looking forward to the next one. Spoilers and offensive content to come.
We are Carlos and Dave Anime Rave. We are the best anime review show on the internet, in the entire galaxy, within multiple timelines. But not the best one within Timeline Group Theta 2. There is one better review show out there that humanity will eventually discover in 3001 years.
This is Izetta the Last Witch, episodes 3 and 4. Kind of a last grouping of the Just Friends animes.
We are going to stop mocking Carlos's... You know what I'm sick of, Dave? Your insufferability. And with heteronormativity in fiction, each one of these 4 animes we've been watching recently better end in a non-heteronormative relationship, at least one each. Or I will...
Oh, well, now you're asking for a lot. You want one each.
One each. I know that's asking for a lot.
You might get one of the group.
Here's the thing. We still live in a backwards age, and we're going to get 0, which is sad. But honestly, the best chance for one is Flip-Floppers at this point. Maybe Yuri on Ice.
All Just Friends.
You know what? I will just defend your face. What that means is that I will push the stick back just at the exact moment I see your face. And what that means is I will get a Gears of War Lancer, a Retro Lancer, and I will charge at your face with it.
Look, just because I know the truth, don't hate me.
Look, I know you're probably right, and they're going to end up being just friends because this world hates me, and every piece of fiction that isn't called Steven Universe hates me. Or Yuri Kuma Arashi.
Just friends.
You really think they're just friends?
I can still make that argument.
They were Frenching at the end of the show, Dave. Declaring their unbound love for each other. Yeah, technically you're correct. They're still friends. Just in the same way most married couples say that their lover is their best friend.
Yeah, I really can't say that one's just friends, can I?
Next, you're going to tell me Ruby and Sapphire are just friends. They're a walking lesbian affair.
No, I'm not going to say that.
Good.
However, Yuna has a boyfriend.
Really?
Probably.
No. Why are you doing... Play the fucking video. How many shows have we watched that take place on alternate our Earths? Not stuff like Dragon Ball where the place is called Earth, but it's not Earth. I mean... It's our Earth, and some places are even called the same, but it's mostly different. Off the top of my head, both Full Metal Alchemists, Steven Universe, Izetta the Last Witch, this.
Full Metal Panic.
Oh yeah, because there's elements of ours, but history kind of went a little differently there.
Yeah. With the technology. Gunslinger Girls.
The Quentin Tarantino verse.
No, you know something? There's some things that happen in that manga / anime that even Tarantino will be like, dude, chill the fuck out.
That's funny. And also horrifying.
That's me saying that. Well, Chrono Crusade.
Oh yeah, for reals too.
I mean, we could look at my wall of anime and, like, a good percentage... Ghost in the Shell.
That's more future, though. Sci-fi, obviously, is an alternate Earth, but in the future.
Fair enough.
I'm talking more like present day, but things are different, or the past, and things are different. Basically what I hoped the Sherlock Holmes movies were going to be, but weren't. Oh, just...
A good percentage of anime actually are that.
Which is fine. It's a fun little narrative space to explore, I think.
You don't have to change much to have an alternate history that becomes awesome.
Agreed.
Well, tell the Emperor to chill the fuck out, and I'll get the job done.
I like the implication here that war happens because white men just have to be themselves. Goddamn white men.
How many episodes until she's actually running the country? She kind of is now, but in name and in position.
3 episodes.
As in 3 from the beginning, or 3 more?
3 more. From the beginning. For a total of 6. Plus 3. So 3, 6, or 9.
You're going with the odd numbers, eh?
6 is not an odd number.
I think she found some uses for those old lances.
I also think she found some uses.
So she can pretty much ride anything.
Yep. Enchant anything and use the rest as supersonic projectiles. Seems like she's rail gunning them with those lances.
Oh, goody. They don't have a chance.
It has a barrier? These are shielded projectiles.
Oh. Awesome.
Okay, let's break this down a little bit. Izetta can not only telekinetically control whatever she wants to an extreme degree. Not only is she Jean Greying this shit, but she is also able to see shots coming in bullet time. How did the Germanians ever capture her? Like, she is annihilating them by herself.
I think there's more going on here as well, because like, she said, everyone. I think she's enchanting all the weapons and kind of giving them life. We seem to have unleashed the Hulk.
The tags are just flying. I think we're winning somehow. They were cheering the Yuris.
Just friends.
Roundhouse kick your face. Like I said, 3 episodes.
You said 3 more.
Yeah, from the beginning.
No. You don't.
I win.
Uh-huh. Okay, well that was episode 3, where we get to see Izetta cut loose and kick some ass.
Take out an entire tank company by herself.
Tank and plane company.
And infantry, and an air regiment, and infantry. With very little trouble.
Old lances and swords. Also,
Fine appears to have capitalized on the situation by telling her soldiers and the people that the White Witch that protects their country has returned and is helping them. This could backfire, and yet I am very glad Fine did that. And obviously she's very conflicted for having done that and really wants Izetta to be safe because they love each other. Fuck you, Dave. The king is dead. Dead. And the Germanians are fucked.
Let's jump right into episode 4.
Jesus Christ. New Berlin looks like the 6th level of Jackal on the NES. Jesus.
You know what it really looks like? It looks like somebody copied parts of the new Wolfenstein game.
The surface kind of looks like... Remember that Justice League episode where fucking Vandal Savage sent his past self-knowledge to overthrow Hitler, and then the present got changed into this? Okay, well, here's our Hitler replacement. The Emperor of the Germanian Empire. And first impression? Why is he so beautiful? God damn, he's a beautiful man! Like, I'm not saying that I support the efforts of this alternate Earth's version of the Nazis. I'm just saying, wow, he's handsome.
I guess. I find it really weird that he's wearing a uniform that was abandoned at least 100 years before that.
Alternate Earth.
And that's fine, but I still find it weird.
God, he's beautiful. He reminds me of Zuko's dad. This show needs a Zuko.
Never found Zuko's dad to be at all attractive.
He was beautiful. He was a beautiful man.
Sure.
Voiced by Mark Hamill. I want the final battle of this show, or at least this season if it's a multi-season affair, to be Izetta fighting the Germanian Empire here, with the Germanian Empire piloting some kind of Nazi Gundam, and for it to be the most beautifully, lavishly animated thing ever put to film.
Whereas I want her to find the ability to summon Meteor and nail these pricks and just wipe out the Germanian Empire.
See, here's the thing. Mine would be an awesome ending to the season. Yours would be boring and anticlimactic.
Well, fuck you.
Fuck you! Are we going to do the DMC thing where we just tell each other to fuck you over and over?
I'm wondering why she's getting such attitude from this soldier chick here.
One thing I don't like is that a lot of the soldiers on both sides appear to be men. And while we have very prominent female leads in this show and female soldiers here in the Archduke's castle, I was hoping some more of the rank and file were going to be women. Because for all the flaws the Warcraft movie had, with a lot of important male characters and not enough women, if you looked at all the soldiers in Stormwind and shit, and in the fights, it was like half and half almost.
It was mixed.
Yes. And I realize that this is based off of history, like an alternate history, but A, it's an alternate history, and B, there were women fighting in World War II. And won, for that matter. Not always, sometimes in secret because of prejudices that we unfortunately still have. And I would have liked to have seen more of a gender mix within the rank and file of both sides. It's a minor complaint because the show has 2 female protagonists, and I mean that's more important than that other thing, but I want them both anyway.
And magic snap neck. Okay, we're done there.
Jeez, you just want the worst for everyone.
Well,
if anime solved problems like Dave edition, Snapneck, meteors.
Well, no, if I get where she's coming from, but maybe try and be a little bit less forceful and put her on the spot. Because what if she was somebody who wasn't as shy and meek as she was, and actually had a bit of an attitude on that?
Well, I mean, to be fair to Bianca, she's doing her job.
Oh,
and her job is to protect the princess from suspicious people, and she's never heard of this Izetta person.
For all we know, it was her department who put her into the Germanian's hands.
Are you saying that Bianca could be a traitor?
No, but something tells me that that Mueller knows more than any of us at this point, and that I'm betting the royal family took Izetta into their care at one point, and probably is the reason why the Germanians had her.
That would be it's definitely possible, because this show does like to have it likes to layer these things onto themselves, people helping others despite conflicting motivations, so I wouldn't be shocked by that. Regardless, let's see how this plays out. The United States of Atlanta!
They could do worse. Could have been the United States of Utah or Alabama.
You are correct. Did this really have to happen?
No. You don't even have to ask that question. That was pointless. Didn't need to happen, even if it was a woman doing it. That was stupid.
It could have been done behind closed doors. It could have been like, I need to measure you up a bit. And then the comedy could have come from that. Not just groping. Grope, you know.
Yeah.
This is a really good show. This is an unfortunate aspect of it.
It's okay, because she's a fashion designer. Fuck you.
Even Fine from Sinful Gear had the excuse that she was evil the whole time. Spoiler alert. All the women are gay for Fine, and I approve.
I was half expecting, shots to fire out and her to die right there.
What is wrong with you? You want the worst things to happen in everything. Meteors, neck snapping, you were expecting guns. Sometimes people are good, Dave.
No. I wasn't thinking that Bianca was gonna shoot her.
It's such a lovely scene, then you thought they were gonna get ambushed?
Yeah.
I wonder about you Dave, do you need a hug?
No.
Come on, come here, give me a hug. Give me a fucking hug.
Just
Stop being all big gay about it. So that was episodes 3 and 4 of Izetta the Last Witch. I really like the last scene there where Fine talks about how good Izetta looks in her outfit, and how they're holding hands and giving each other the eyes. And I know you're going to say just friends. I have a bit of precognition myself. I can see the future. I see a future where you say just friends. And we were playing Gears of War 4 earlier, and you had that weapon, the buzzkill. And I was telling you, please don't ricochet that thing back to my neck. I was playing Kate. I didn't want Kate's neck to be severed. I was secretly hoping it would sever your neck. It would come right out of the TV and just kill you, just murder, embed right into you. And then I'd look at you and be like, Dave, are you all right? And then I'd say, just friends, as I kicked it into your torso more and more, till long after you were dead. I mentioned that I wasn't a big fan of the gender mix in the armies. A bigger problem is the very unnecessary fan servicey moments, like the crotch shots and the ass shots and the groping that are completely unwarranted and have no place in this show at all. Mm-hmm. And or can be done a lot better. Like, you can do things where women are embarrassed about their bodies around other women. Nothing wrong with that. But there's context and setting to take care of. It's like, my gripe with it in Yuki Yuna is that if they had established that Yuna was in love with Togo, then the fan service might have made sense just from Yuna's perspective. And one could argue that maybe it does kind of make sense from Fine's perspective, but the context of that scene wasn't supporting that. It was just there because. Mm-hmm. What did you think of these two episodes, Dave? Tell me in explicit detail using words.
Well, these Just Friends duo.
Okay.
I like them as friends. I'd like them as a couple. Whether they actually go down that route, don't know. But I love our two leads. Izetta and Fine are great protagonists. I love how they play off of each other, and I love how Fine is looked up to so much by her countrymen.
She is the ideal noble. She's what nobles are supposed to be, and not often what they are.
And what I see happening here, especially with that last scene, is she knows enough of how politics work that she was flabbergasted by Izetta's kind of wish for everybody to have that, be able to choose, because she realizes that it's kind of a pipe dream. It's not something that she can pull off, but by her putting it back and saying she'd do her best till the end of her days, she can still come through on part of it and still feel good about doing what she can.
If Sailor Moon can bring a crystal kingdom to the Earth and turn it into a utopia, I'm pretty sure Fine can too.
Well, anyway.
Let's take this alternate history all the way. Let's have it so that fucking, like, eventually Elstat's borders just encompass everywhere. Earth ruled by its lesbian lover duo of Princess Fine, Queen Fine, and co-queen Izetta. And then take it to space.
Anyway, definitely see more politics going on here. And you already know that some of the newscat or the journalists that are there are going to say bullshit on the whole magic thing.
Yeah, and
even if they try and do the whole, look, I'm levitating something and making it fly around the room, there's no strings, people are going to call bullshit. Mm-hmm. And you can be guaranteed that there's going to be a undercover Germanian Empire person there.
I was about to
try
say,
and pull bullshit.
There's going to be at least one Germanian in the crowd.
Yeah. Germanian or loyal to the Germanian Empire.
Yeah, an ally of theirs.
Yeah. Undercover or otherwise.
Maybe it's Benito Mussolini.
I like the fact that she's not omnipotent. That she does have limits, and that them dropping the whole ley line thing is actually kind of cool because it doesn't go everywhere, so of course she's going to have limitations. Mm-hmm. Now, whether what they found down there is what I think it is, I mean, they showed us the room, they showed us the whole ley line map and everything. There's obviously a reason they're having it at the castle, so she can show off her powers.
Yeah.
But either the ley line map there was the important thing, or a way to use her powers in limited fashion where there aren't ley lines is what she got there.
Entirely possible.
We'll see what it actually turned out to be. I mean, that ley line map is invaluable.
I'm fascinated by Izetta's flashback that she clearly kept from Fine with her grandmother. Her grandmother was telling her that the White Witch was a traitor. And maybe that's why witches went into seclusion, because out of shame for what one of their own did. Maybe this isn't a case where they were being persecuted. Maybe this is a case where it was a self-inflicted, a self-brought upon exile.
I actually have a better one for it.
Oh, thanks. Just shoot me down. Like, but whatever.
Again, seeing as we're talking alternate history, it's still based on some real-world events.
Mm-hmm.
I'm betting the White Witch is the one that came out, helped a bunch of people, and the church started hunting down witches because now they finally had the official proof that witches existed.
Entirely possible.
And I could see the rest of the witches considering her a traitor for bringing that down upon them.
Entirely possible. Entirely possible. I would not hate that. I'm okay with how this show has earned my trust for the most part. I'm still worried.
I mean, there's a reason why Izetta is the last witch. I don't think it's because it was bred out of the bloodline or anything else. I think it's because they were hunted.
I always use this example, but the Empire killed all the Jedis. It's entirely possible there's other witches around. And if this continues on to a new season, easily a story consideration is to say, actually, there are other witches, and now they're coming out, you know. Because, I mean, the world's a big place, right? So, it's really easy to kill a lot of something. It is an orders of magnitude more difficult to wipe something completely out.
Yeah.
No, I do like your idea. I for the most part, the show's earned my trust, and whether it's your idea, whether it's mine, whether it's something else entirely, which, let's face it, it's probably going to be, I'm on board, and I really enjoy this. I'm still a little concerned, not because of the fan service that I kind of like with Symphogear. That's just because I like this show enough that I like this show so much that I can overlook that, but I don't completely overlook it. It's still
cringe.
It's still a mark against. I would still mark against. But I mean, my concern is that, much like that movie Hannah I talked about, that they're building such a great world and doing such a great job of world building and of characterizations and of dynamic relationships with the characters. They are setting up a very, very elaborate structure, and with a seemingly strong foundation. But
you're worried it's built on quicksand.
Little worried it's built on quicksand, or that it's just built too grand and it just collapses in on itself.
And that is a possibility. We've seen shows that have done that before, but I mean, ultimately, we're 4 episodes in of what I think is a 13-episode series.
We're a third done.
I'm just gonna keep on hoping.
Yeah,
me
too.
Much like all 4 of our Just Friends videos.
No, that's not the name. That's not the name.
That's what I'm calling it.
I'm
calling it the Just Friends Quartet.
You know, when we were playing Gears 4, there's a scene with a wind flare where we died repeatedly at a part where we had to dodge some lightning to get to a barn, and every time you died, I think I jizzed just a little bit.
Anyway, the Just Friends Quartet.
Okay, Dave.
All 4 of them.
Fucking piece of shit.
Have turned out great.
You know, it'll turn out great when you're a greasy, bloody stain. Man, I threatened to kill you so many times. I would be the saddest person in the world if you actually died. And then I would be prime suspect. Police are like, this fucker has been repeatedly saying how he's gonna kill Dave. Don't die, please.
So yeah, no, this show has been very good. I love the characters. I love the setting. I love the care that they're taking with all the characters. Even the maid. And how, you know, Bianca called her on being so cheerful after the king died. And just her comment back, it's like, the princess told me to behave as I always have, and she's gonna do that for her.
I appreciate that every woman in this show is gay for Fine. I appreciate that every woman in this show is gay for Fine.
I like the fact that everybody respects her.
Yep, and she deserves it. Fine is the ideal noble.
No mention of her mother yet, though.
No, not yet. She's my favorite character of the show so far. Because Izetta still has... She's... Partly because she missed most of the inaugural episode.
Yeah.
We kind of need more establishment with her. But we're getting there. We're getting there. And there's nothing unlikable about her, for sure.
I'm guessing probably her mother's dead.
Fine's, you mean?
Fine's mother's
Yeah,
dead.
probably.
Simply because if she wasn't dead, then Fine wouldn't be becoming queen.
Yeah, that's right.
So, and obviously any siblings she has are younger.
We found out the Germanians have their own Ozai. Hopefully he can lightning bend. But I mean, yeah, we've said, we were rambling now. We've said all we need to say about Izetta the Last Witch. You know what we haven't said all we need to say about? The best anime review show on the internet, Carlos and Dave Anime Rave, which you can find at where?
AnimeRave.xyz.
You know, it's weird. I know Z is the right way to say that letter in Canada. I still like Z. I still like Z. I don't mind that you say Z. I'm just saying it always sounded weird to me.
Well, it depends what you're saying it with certain words, like easy.
Mm-hmm.
Just E-Z. Yeah, E-Z-E doesn't... That sounds like something out of Dragon Ball.
Oh, no, I mean the pronunciation of the letter itself. Like, when you're talking about the letter in the alphabet, Z, you know. Yeah,
and if I was saying the alphabet, I'd probably still say XYZ.
Because it rhymes.
Yeah.
Yeah. But Z is probably better. It's probably what are we doing? We are keeping these people so long in this YouTube video. Farewell, folks. May your enemies die a swift death.